The security service of Ukraine drone strike on December 5th targeted a liquefied natural gas terminal in Russia's Temryuk Seaport in Krasnodar Krai, triggering a massive fire that burned for 3 days, an SBU source told the Kyiv Independent. Ukraine's general staff confirmed the attack, reporting that approximately 70% of the facility's total fuel tanks were destroyed in the strike. The source said the operation was conducted by the SBU's Elite Alpha Special Operations Unit and targeted the production facilities of Pantsir-S, a company involved in liquefied natural gas transshipment, adding the blaze had burned for 3 days. According to the source, the strike caused fires in more than 20 of the site's 30 storage tanks, each with a capacity of 200 cubic meters. The drones also reportedly destroyed railway tankers, an intermediate fueling unit, and a loading/unloading overpass. The fire covered approximately 3,000 square meters. Video provided by the source shows large-scale fires at the facility. Pantsir-S handles the transfer of liquefied gas from rail cars and tank containers to specialized gas carriers. The terminal, built in 2008, is designed to process up to 400,000 tons of LNG per year. The source said the attack was part of the SBU's ongoing effort to degrade Russia's oil and gas infrastructure, which plays a key role in financing the war against Ukraine. The SBU will continue systematic efforts to cut off revenues from Russia's oil and gas sector. This money funds the war against Ukraine. Explosions in Russia's rear will keep happening at facilities supporting the war effort, the source said. Ukraine has routinely targeted oil facilities in Russia and in Russian-occupied Ukrainian territories in an effort to disrupt Moscow's military logistics and supply lines. On the night of December 8th, Special Operations Forces units carried out successful FP-2 drone attacks against enemy targets in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. In the city of Donetsk, the drones hit a warehouse of unmanned aerial vehicles belonging to the 9th Separate Motor Rifle Brigade of the 51st Army. The warehouse contained a large number of tactical reconnaissance and strike UAVs, along with warheads for them. In the Luhansk region, in the settlement of Semykain, a fuel and lubricants depot belonging to the Yug grouping was destroyed. As a result of the strike, tanks containing approximately 6,000 cubic meters of fuel were eliminated. These strikes significantly reduce the occupiers' ability to supply their units with equipment, fuel, and ammunition, complicating their logistics on the front line. A 220 kilovolt substation, Krasnodonska, was also hit in the village of Prokladny, near Dovzhansk, in the Luhansk region. It powers critical facilities deep in the rear that the Russian military uses. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported the attack on several targets yesterday, and the Special Operations Forces confirmed it by releasing footage of the strikes. 2 soldiers from the 3rd Mechanized Battalion of the 67th Mechanized Brigade captured 6 Russian invaders. The brigade published the video on its official social media pages. The incident took place on December 8th in the Oleksandrivka sector of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The footage shows Russian soldiers coming out of a dugout one after another and surrendering to the Ukrainian troops. After that, the evacuation of the prisoners of war began. Russian artillery opened fire on the group, but a shell landed far from them, and everyone reached the Ukrainian positions without casualties. On December 7th, the 67th Mechanized Brigade regained control of the village of Tiki in the Sinelnikova district of the Dnipropetrovsk region. As a result of coordinated actions by the units, careful operational planning, and the professional execution of combat tasks, Ukrainian forces drove Russian units out of Tika and completely cleared the settlement of Russian troops. Control over the village was restored after, on November 21st, propagandist sources published a video featuring statements by Russian soldiers claiming that the settlements of Tika and Vidradne in the Oleksandrivka sector had allegedly been captured by forces of the Vostok group. Fresh, living equipment continues to arrive as reinforcements for the world's second strongest army. This time meant for transporting ammunition and the wounded.
Well, anyway, I've just managed to find a couple of volunteers here who are genuinely eager to go and fight and provide assistance to our lads. Also, there you go. Our Dagestani brothers have arrived. The guys brought them to the boys. Today I'll take them to the guys where they'll serve, carrying ammo, meds, food, and possibly the wounded. So the Dagestani guys helped us out. They sent it over. The boys said they'd give them call signs, they'd give them armor and put them on full support. So that's how things are.
He won't, damn it. Come on.
Go.
Oh, for fuck's sake, that's it. He's clearly scared of something. Did you see that? You just stay right here, my brother.
And Black is incredibly brave. Holy shit!
President Volodymyr Zelensky met British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and other European leaders for talks in London amid renewed efforts to settle the Russia-Ukraine war. Zelensky said after the talks that there is not yet consensus among Ukraine, Russia, and the US on the status of Donbass, and emphasized that Ukraine has no legal or moral grounds for surrendering its territory. French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz joined Zelensky and Starmer at No. 10 Downing Street as Kyiv's European partners seek to coordinate strategy in the face of the latest US push for a peace deal, a push that has included proposals for Ukraine to give up land it still controls. Guaranteeing real security is always a shared challenge and a shared effort. Thank you for your support, Zelensky said on X after the meeting. The leaders held a detailed discussion on our joint diplomatic work with the American side, aligned a shared position on the importance of security guarantees and reconstruction, and agreed on the next steps, he added. Europe's leaders have privately expressed concerns that they are being sidelined from the negotiations, as the original 28-point peace plan, drafted by Russia and the US and unveiled last month, imposed harsh conditions on Ukraine. While the original proposal has been revised in subsequent talks that the US held separately with Ukraine and Russia, Zelensky told Bloomberg that sensitive issues, such as security guarantees and the status of the eastern Ukrainian regions, remain to be agreed upon. There are visions of the US, Russia, and Ukraine, and we don't have a unified view on Donbass, Zelensky told Bloomberg in a phone interview. The president said he aims to reach separate agreements on security guarantees with Western partners, specifically Washington. During the talks at Downing Street, Starmer commented that the negotiations are at the critical stage of the push for peace. Things that are very important for today are unity between Europe, Ukraine, and the US, Zelensky noted. Merz, in turn, said he is skeptical about some of the details in documents coming from the US, adding that this could be a decisive time for all of us. The destiny of this country, Ukraine, is the destiny of Europe. Last week, National Security and Defense Council Secretary Rustem Umerov visited the U.S. to continue discussions on the peace plan with the American side. U.S. President Donald Trump's envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, also met Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow on December 2nd, although the meeting failed to produce a breakthrough. Russia has repeatedly refused to compromise on its key demands, which include a ban on Ukraine joining NATO and a full Ukrainian withdrawal from the partially occupied Donetsk Oblast in the east, conditions rejected by Kyiv. Zelensky said that Umerov and Chief of the General Staff Andriy Hanatov are heading to Europe to brief him on the results of the latest negotiations. I expect detailed information from them on everything that was said to the American envoys in Moscow, and on the nuances the Americans are prepared to modify in negotiations with us and with the Russians. Zelensky said on his social media on December 7th. Keith Kellogg, Trump's envoy for Ukraine, claimed a peace agreement appears to be nearing completion, naming the status of eastern regions and the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant as the last outstanding issues. However, Trump implied that Zelensky is holding up the peace effort, claiming that the Ukrainian president hasn't yet read the peace proposal.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.